Hello everyone and welcome to Golf Center. I'm Chris Tremblay along with my co-host Bob Stevens. Bob, nice to have you here.
Great to be here. We got a tee sheet that is all full. In
fact, the whole day,
we got people waiting to get on.
We do.
Michael Paulmeier, the IJGA Strength and Conditioning Coach. We're going to talk a little bit about exercises we should and maybe shouldn't be doing to help our golf game. We've got members of the state champs Christian Academy golf team here, the coach and one of his star players, John Brown, who is really becoming a factor in island golf and low country golf now. We're going to talk about some special things that Brown Golf Management is doing. We're also going to talk about a great renovation job being done at Ladies Island Country Club. They are getting busy and they're inviting people to make the drive around from Hilton Head Island and get to Ladies Island. So it should be just a super show.
We want to make sure everybody knows what's going on out there, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But let's start out today talking about another high school team who has excelled at the state golf championships.
Yeah, the Hilton Head Island High School, the Seahawks finished second in the state championship. Just a couple of strokes behind AC Flora, the defending state champs. They played up in Conway at Coastal Carolina, and Andrew Orishak finished second as well for the individual championship, so that makes him an all-stater.
It certainly does, Bob, and one thing to look at here is that we're talking once again, as is with Hilton Head Christian, who we're going to have some of their coach and player on in just a bit, young team. So a team that certainly is somebody we're going to look for next year to have a good chance at maybe becoming the state champ. And it's been a while for Hilton Head High. They haven't won since '96 and '97 when DJ Trahan, PGA Tour player, was a member of their team.
We've got a lot of youth golf here that is really starting to rise to the top, and we're going to meet a couple of them in a few minutes, and the kids at Hilton Head High certainly have a lot to be proud of.
We're looking forward to seeing how they do in the future, that's for sure. Let's take it over now to the Players Championship. We had a little bit of excitement last weekend down just south of Jacksonville. Tiger Woods finally found a way to get around that golf course.
He did. Kept the driver in the bag a lot. Really controlled the game. I think that's the new Tiger Woods. He used to be able to overpower golf courses. Tiger Woods now manages golf courses, and I thought his course management was absolutely brilliant for 4 straight days. He got a little help, 17. Sergio having the ball drop in the water helped, but that's what happens at the Players.
Well,
Tiger didn't do that, and he won the tournament.
Tiger gave them a little bit of help too by making the number he made on 14 to bring everybody in a little bit. But if we looked at the way he played on Sunday, it looked like he was really oozing confidence with his full swing. Every time he got done, there was the twirl. You saw it on 18 with the tee ball and the second shot. And it goes to show you that, the course where the ultimate on keeping it in play and working it, where he struggled over the last more or less 9 or 10 years, looks like he's got it under control now.
He hit one bad shot, one bad swing. That's the one at 14.
Yep.
He said that was his one bad swing of the entire week. You do that, you're going to be pretty darn successful. And he followed that bad shot with what he said might have been his best shot of the week, the great recovery shot that set things up. Forget all the talk about the drop and all of that. He still hit a terrific shot. He made double bogey anyway, but he still felt good about the way he was swinging a golf club when he went on to 15. And as you know, as a teacher, that's critical, is to get your mind back focused on the good things.
Some double bogeys are better than other double bogeys, right?
Is that right?
We don't like to say that, but sometimes they definitely are. We talk about Tiger's ball striking, but one of the other areas, I was online on the PGAtour.com checking out the stats. He is leading handily in the strokes gained putting category by almost a quarter of a stroke.
Yeah, a quarter of a stroke around. That means a whole stroke for the tournament, and that turned out to be really the magic margin for him. Just a great job done by Tiger Woods all week long. He's putting the ball now. He's got confidence in his putter. He's making the 6-8 footers that he needs to make to save pars at times, and that's when Tiger gets ready.
As we look forward to Marion in about 4 weeks, we look at that golf course. Obviously, they haven't been there for about 20 some odd years because of, even more than that, almost 30 years now, because of the fact it hasn't been a very long golf course. More than likely, it's going to be a course where somebody like Tiger probably isn't going to have the driver out a whole lot, so maybe more so than the last few majors. Seeing how well he's working the ball, there's no reason to think that he's not going to be a heavy favorite going in there.
Well, yeah, normally we would discount the big hitters in a situation like Marion and talk about the placement type hitters. But Tiger's managing his game well enough now. I think you're right. I think he's, I don't think he's a prohibitive favorite. There's an awful lot of guys who could win there. Nobody knows the greens. Nobody knows their way around.
Very true.
Tiger's course management will be key, but so will Rory's, so will so many other guys who can manage their way around the course as well. as usual with the U.S. Open, the guy who's playing the best that week is the guy who's going to win.
Let there be no doubt. Last thing about the Players' Championship, we had a little bit of excitement on Saturday between Tiger and Sergio, and Tiger pulling a club when Sergio was hitting, and so on. What were your thoughts there?
Well, Sergio and Tiger obviously have never been best buddies. And Sergio said afterwards he was really glad they weren't paired again on Sunday. Saturday they went their separate ways, literally off the tee at the second hole. Tiger's over in the woods trying to, he pulls a club. He can't see Sergio. Sergio's getting ready to play. Sergio was actually in front of Tiger. It should have been Tiger's play. But Sergio went ahead and hit at the time that Tiger was pulling the club, all the noise. And then, of course, it escalated from there into a bit of a war of words. I don't get too excited about it, frankly. It's one of the few times we've ever heard golfers snipe at each other a little bit on the Pro Tour, and so I don't. There are a whole lot worse things being said about each other in Congress than there certainly when they're on the golf course.
Let there be no doubt. Probably won't be exchanging Christmas cards, but that's all right. We know they'll be playing against each other and with each other down the road, so we'll see how that pans out. That's all the time we have for this segment. You're watching Golf Center here on WHHI Sports.
We're now joined on Golf Center by Michael Paulmeier, who is the owner of MP Elite Training in Bluffton. Also works with the IJGA, the Hank Haney's kids, with their golf fitness. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit.
I'd like to know what he has to say.
Well, Michael, tell us what you got to say. What do you guys got going on in a summer program? We think about the IJGA as a school year program. What goes on in the summer?
Well, right now it's an incredibly exciting time. We've got the graduation of all our kids that have been with us for at least some 4 years, some even longer. Some of the kids I've worked with from freshman year to their senior year now, they're graduating, which is really an amazing time because I've had a hand in seeing them grow up from young kids that had an idea of golf in their future to now being assigned to Division I scholarships and seeing an actual possible berth after college and playing in the pros. And now that that's coming to an end, we start our summer program, which to me is really an amazing time because we have some kids that are coming to use the summer program as a trial run to see if they want to become part of our academy, and some that are just looking to improve their game, and they're from all over the country and all over the world, so it gives us a chance to really shine. So I'm excited about the upcoming summer months.
Michael, there's so much out there about golf fitness, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. What's your philosophy and how does it influence your training?
My philosophy is very simple. It is proximal strength equals distal power. Now, my wife and I were talking about this about 15 years ago when I was going to become a trainer. And I was teaching 3rd and 4th grade at the time. And I have a tendency to get off topic and long-winded. So my wife told me that if you're going to be a personal trainer, you got to really embrace the concept of brevity. So I didn't know what that word meant, so I had to look it up. So when I came back, I had really thought about my personal training philosophy, and I told her what it was, and I said it's succinct and it's to the point. It's the definition of brevity, and I had to look that word up. So now my wife not only was laughing because I had to look up the word brevity because I was long-winded, you see the irony, but also because no one's going to understand my philosophy. And I was saying I want to put up my business cards and on my shirts and on the window of my studio. And in essence, what that means, proximal strength just means if you're strong and balanced through the core, then you'll be powerful in the extremities. And that's been my overriding training philosophy for the last 17 years. Now I have added one nuance, and that is efficient energy transfer. So if you're strong through the core and you've trained the body to efficiently transfer that energy to your extremities, then you could you can properly accelerate the body through a golf swing, or if you're playing tennis, if you're a quarterback or a pitcher, it's all about sequential acceleration of the segments of the body. And if you have a strong core, then that's possible. Otherwise, you're always working against yourself, and that's either going to lead to improper performance, which will lead to injury, or inconsistent results. So my overriding philosophy has always been that simple phrase: proximal strength equals distal power.
It's all about the core, and the core of your family. Of course, you mentioned your wife, Orchid.
Yes.
Orchid Paulmeier, of course, the owner of One Hot Mamas here on the island. Yum. Yeah, you were telling us, Michael, okay to eat the ribs, careful on the sauce?
Yeah, when it comes to golf nutrition, you want to stay away from refined carbohydrates because obviously they help to accelerate fat storage, but they also have been proven as far as the central nervous system to disrupt proper focus. So you want to steer clear of the sugars. So if you're going to be eating my wife's delicious ribs, you want to make sure that you get the sauce on the side. So you just kind of dip a little bit, but you still get the flavor of both things and the great protein source. So that's how I go about eating ribs or golf nutrition.
Yeah. Okay, Michael Paulmeier of MP Elite Training in Bluffton, thanks so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
We are joined in this segment by John Brown of Brown Golf Management. John, what is Brown Golf?
Well, Brown Golf's a company that my partner and I formed 28 months ago, and it's an acquisition company. We buy golf clubs and operate them ourselves. We do some third-party managing for some other owners, and we also do some consulting to the golf industry.
John, you've become a force certainly now in low country golf. You run Pinecrest Golf Club and also Island West, and a couple of new acquisitions are just about to get all the signs sealed and delivered. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We are going to add to our portfolio here real soon, and with the acquisition of the Crescent Point Golf Club and the Eagles Point Golf Club. That should happen, I would say, by the end of June at the latest.
That's great. What's that going to mean for golfers here on the island and in the low country?
Well, exciting times for us. We believe strongly in our local connections here, so we've got a membership portion of our golf club from an operational standpoint. That's very important to us. And we also are very value conscious for the local golfer.
That means, obviously, people are going to get to play great golf courses. They've seen the way you've run Pinecrest and Island West already. And from a membership standpoint, people who, join one club are going to actually be members of all four?
Yeah, it's a wonderful arrangement. It's a great deal for the folks. They pay one membership fee. They have 72 holes that they'll have access to. Plus, they've got access to our free teaching. Anybody who's a member at our clubs, their golf lessons are all part of the arrangement.
How about that?
How could you elaborate on that? Is it group lessons? Can they book individually? How does that work, John?
They can book individually. They just got to call our Island West Golf Club. That's where all the books are kept for our teachers. And they can make individual lessons. They can do it in groups, whatever is comfortable for them. But individual lessons are certainly a part of the package.
John, a lot of people in the golf business are down on the golf business right now. Rounds are coming back a little bit, but it's been a tough last few years. You guys are obviously very bullish on the business.
We absolutely are, and I'll be the first one to tell you we're sort of taking advantage of the marketplace a little bit. We are buying clubs, that are distressed for the most part at different times, and operationally we feel like we've got a formula that works, and we're very bullish on it. We feel like we're going to add another 6 or 7 this year alone, and look to add we're going to grow the company to 50 units over the next few years. That's our goal.
So when you say you're looking to expand, not only here, but where else have you expanded, and are you planning to expand to?
Well, we're in 4 states currently. We're in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. We've got another club under contract currently that we're going to close on hopefully in the next 90 days or so in Georgia. So that'll be our 5th state. With the addition of the 2 here in Bluffton, that'll be 14 and 15 for us, a combination of owned facilities and managed facilities.
John, we appreciate your time today. I know you're a busy, busy guy with all that going on. Thanks so much for joining us. John Brown of Brown Golf Management.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back. We're going to talk to some state champions right ahead here on Golf Center. Welcome back to Golf Center. We are joined now by state champions from Hilton Head Christian Academy. We talked earlier in the show about the great job the Hilton Head High kids did in their division, finishing 2nd in the state, but these are the champs.
These are the champs,
the
Bob.
Hilton Head Christian Academy champs, led by Coach Doug Langhals and then J.D. Lehman joining us. Congratulations, guys. Take us back a little bit. Tell us how much fun that was.
Well, it was a great season. We had a lot of excitement, a lot of growth as a team as we went forward, and as we went into the actual state tournament, there was 2 or 3 teams that were going to be very competitive as we came down to the wire to see how it would turn out, and our guys did a great job. JD here led the way. You can tell them a little bit about it.
Yeah, it was fun. The first round was probably our worst competitive round all season. I think we shot 312, and none of us played very good. And then my brother and I went back, worked on the range with my dad a little bit, and then we came out and shot our best round of the season. So it was good to, finish it off well.
Whenever you need help, you go back to Dad, Bob.
Dad will
help you
especially
out.
if Dad can play.
That's right. That helps a lot. That's for sure.
Talk a little bit, Coach, about the development of the team through the season. You alluded to that a little bit. When did you know this team had a chance to really be something special?
It actually started early. We, coming out of last year, had lost a couple key players from graduation and things like that, and wasn't quite sure jumping in. And with being a small school, as we start the season, we had a tournament in early February, kind of a preseason tournament. I've been, against probably 10 or 15 high-quality schools in the state public schools, and we'd just come out of basketball season. JD and several others have been playing, so we weren't sure. And the guys came out and played fabulous 2 days in a row, won the tournament, and it kind of set the stage for the season, and they just continued to progress as the year went on.
As state champs, you have a pretty young team. Why don't you tell us about the guys that are coming back next year and what our possibilities are to repeat?
Yeah, well, we'd love to see that happen. We have, JD obviously will be a huge loss, from the scoring and from leadership. That'll be a big, significant, shoe to fill. But having said that, you're right. We have 2 sophomores that played that are fabulous, 2 freshmen that played, and then even underneath that, we have a handful of rising, just really quality, hardworking players. So it'll be exciting. We have a lot of potential. We have to put it together, but if we can, we could have some exciting years ahead.
We talk about losing JD. He graduates, and you're off to Louisville. Talk about the college golf recruiting process a little bit. We hear about it so much with football and with basketball, but how did Louisville find you? How did you find them?
It's kind of weird. I think, honestly, because it was last June, I wasn't talking to them at all. And I was playing a tournament in Kentucky because I was trying to get the Michigan coach to come down. And this kid who I was playing in with the group was being followed by the Louisville assistant. And the Louisville assistant actually ended up liking my swing so much. He called me. I went up to an official that week, or unofficial visit that week, because my grandparents live an hour away and we were going to see them anyway.
Sure.
And then I just kept playing through the summer, kept talking, and I ended up committing there in August.
Wow.
I don't know, it was just, honestly, I feel like God's led me there. And I feel like I'm, going there to make a difference and play golf and then just hopefully win a national championship.
Well, JD, what's your plans for the summer now as you work your way into your freshman year?
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of golf. I think June, I'm playing in 3 tournaments and then going up to orientation, so I'll be gone most of June and July, and then hopefully first week of school I'm playing the USAM. I'll have to go up and qualify in July for that, but playing a lot. So,
what do you expect the transition to be? You've kind of been in your comfort zone. This is going to take you out of it quite a bit. What do you expect the transition to be to college golf?
It'll be hard. I mean, obviously, to help, I'll have a tutor for academics, and I'll have to be focused. I won't have much of a social life, but it just
that may be
golf
a good
is
thing.
so busy. Yeah. But I don't know, there'll be 8 guys on the team that are just super competitive to play. So it's like, unlike high school where I've kind of been 1 or 2 pretty consistently, and I haven't really had to go out and qualify much. But then college, it'll just be every day going out and trying to beat 8 guys, I guess, to get in the top 5. Beat 3 guys, I guess.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your average practice day out there with the boys. What were you really focusing on this year that you think helped them gear up and be successful?
Honestly, the theme of this year was short game. I mean, we have talented guys that have been working hard over and over, and they have all the ability in the world. But once you get to a higher level, it all comes down to how you do around the greens. And we spent a lot of time at practice, working on getting up and down, getting those leg putts in and things of that nature. So that, I think it paid off in the end. I mean, for our team, a couple of them have just improved tremendously in that area and obviously saved us a lot of strokes as the season went on.
Real quick question, JD, who's your favorite player out on tour?
Duffner. Duffner's the man.
Jason Duffner. Well,
good.
we can't thank you enough for being with us. Coach of the Hilton Head Christian Academy state champs, Doug Langhals and JD Lehman, bound for Louisville. Congratulations to both of you, and thanks so much for being with us.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Coming back, we're going to talk about the Ladies Island Country Club. Some great improvements there you might want to check out. Stay with us on Golf Center. There are so many great golf clubs in the Low Country, great places to go play, and sometimes you forget about the ones that aren't right in your neighborhood. And if you're in the Ladies Island neighborhood, you already know how great Ladies Island Country Club is. If you don't live in that neighborhood, you need to
get out there.
Go around and make the trip. Mike Sinisko of Ladies Island joining us. You guys have always had a gorgeous place to play.
Thank you.
Now it's becoming even prettier, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Right now we're doing some great things out there, and we're getting busier all the time.
The golf course itself, that's been a work in progress over the last few years. You think you've got it where you want it?
Right now we're doing well with the golf course. Over the last 4 years or so, we had a new superintendent come out, and him and his staff have done a great job. As you know, everything takes some time to get into shape. And now that the owner is very pleased with the conditions of the course, we're starting to move forward with some other things for the future.
Let's talk about those.
How have the renovations gone ahead and affected your overall operation there at Ladies Island?
Well, what we had is we did have a membership meeting the beginning of May, and it was announced that we are going to renovate the whole inside of the building. Wow. So we're going to start with the renovations in July, and we're going to gut the whole inside, keep the outside. Part of the building that is now inside is actually used to be a covered porch for an eating area. So we're going to go back to that original state. And during the summer, the pro shop will be the only part of the clubhouse that is still functioning, and we'll run all the operations out of the pro shop. So we're looking to be maybe around December until we're going to be finished with all the operations. At that time, the pro shop will be moved inside to where the new pro shop's going to be, and then we'll dismantle where the pro shop currently is.
Boy, in country club operations now, you've got to be moving forward or you're going to get lapped, aren't you?
Oh, definitely. One of the things, the club itself has been around since the early 70s, and outside of some minor changes, the interior is probably the same it was when they opened up originally. So we're due to make some changes, but the owner did not feel comfortable until the course was in shape to do something with.
Tell us about some of the activities we have going on out there this summer.
Well, right now what we're doing over the summer is we're very proud of the fact we're starting tomorrow night. In fact, we have women's clinics. For tomorrow night, when I left yesterday, we had 9 or 10 women currently signed up. We have a new LPGA teaching pro, Denise, who's doing a great job with our members with lessons. The public is coming in for lessons. Probably in the last month and a half, we've given more lessons at Ladies Island Country Club than we gave in the last 2-3 years. So that's moving forward. The women's clinic is going to be every Thursday night at 4 o'clock. We're looking at $10 a person that wants to participate. June 10th, we're starting a junior clinic on Monday nights. We're going to do the same type of a format, and we're going to have the juniors there. And we'll also have group clinics for the juniors during the summer, where we'll take 5 to 6 juniors during the week.
Well, Mike Sinisko, Golf Operations Manager out at Ladies Island, thank you so much for joining us. Bob, that's all the time we have for today.
Yeah, that's all the time because we got to get out and go play Ladies Island.
We got to go out and play Ladies Island. Thanks so much for joining us here on Golf Center. For my co-host, Bob Stevens, I'm PGA professional Chris Tremblay. We'll see you next time.